Flobito. You are listening to What's Up Level episode 102, I think. Episode 102. It's crazy. It's crazy how this is a show that could the flagship show on the digital network. Before I begin, I just want to say, as always, if you haven't already, check out NoNameNerd.com. Get yourself a nerd mask or a video game jersey at NoNameNerd.com. They sponsored the show. They're good people. Make sure you put in my promo code FLOBITO for a dope discount. That's NoNameNerd.com. How's everyone doing? Me, I'm doing great. I mean, I'm sorry you guys the past month or so I've been doubling down the content game, and I want to thank you so much for that. Whether it's supporting me on Patreon, that's patreon.com/FloboBoys, or just even like, comment, subscribing, sharing. This week's been pretty big for me, I guess. After this July, I thought I was out of the after show game, but I get pulled back in. Jack Farmer and I, my frequent collaborator, we've combined like Voltron again to do a NXT and NXT UK after show called Draped in Gold. The first episode aired just yesterday. So let me know what you think about that. Go back here on this channel. It's called Draped in Gold. Let me know what you think about wrestling commentary. You know how that be. So I want to talk to you about a post I did over on Instagram this week on the social media side. August is a very, very big month for me specifically. So excited because it's a discovery month. And so I had a little meme or a little image. I won't say meme because memes have a purpose at some point to entertain, to be comical. This is just a post of my milestones in the month of August. Now, you can say that at my age, you can siphon off every month and say things happened every month. What's the big deal? But I feel like as I've grown as a creator, as I've grown as a person, there are certain milestones I think about, and they happen to land in the month of August. And so I wanted to just to share with you guys who are not on my Instagram. You should be. I'm over at Flobito, FLOBITO. The first one definitely is my California anniversary. This is something that transplants celebrate. This is when they say the day they came into the state of California to follow their dreams. It usually means breaking away from their old culture, because once you get here, it's like a giant mismatch of other transplants. By the way, people from California, dope, cool people. Transplants, not so much. And I know I'm one, ironically, but they're not my favorite people. But August 4th, 2007, that's when I came to California for the first time. I got accepted to grad school, film school. I was going to be a filmmaker. That's what got me out here. I was going to be an editor of various different films. My favorite editor at the time was Cutmaster Brown, which Spike Lee's editor was. So August 4th, 2007, that trip crazy. I mentioned it about last week on episode Flobo 100 when I interviewed my brother, that I drove out west. And so it was like, welcome to the other side of what you thought the United States was. And for those wondering, my first experience with California was the city of Tustin, which is a nice town. I'm not knocking Tustin, but I always poke fun at the sign they have when you enter or when you leave. It says, work where you must, but live and shop in Tustin. And I thought that was so adorable. So August 4th is my California anniversary. Just celebrated that this year, 13 years. My overnight success is 13 years and counting. August 10th, 2014 was the first time I ever did stand-up comedy. There's we talked about this on old episodes. Yeah, it's about doing comedy and being on stage and getting a rush for people. But I really think at that age, that's when I decided to start living for me. Taking a step back, I feel everyone, when they're a kid up until about 20, 21, they live for other people. Make sure I don't say the wrong thing. I don't want my parents to be upset. I want to get good grades. I want to go to a good college. I want to get a good job. So you basically live for other people. And usually between the ages of 25 and 35, people have that awakening and start living for themselves. What do I want? What do I like? What do I prefer? Doing comedy, even though I got the nudge from my then girlfriend to take the class the first time to do it, I really think opened it up, because I really think my life was pre-stand-up and now post-stand-up, because I look at the world differently. I try to articulate my feelings, sometimes for comedic effect, but most times for not. And that really happened for me when I started doing comedy. So August 10th, 2014, It's a big deal for me. I go to this sometimes, but I started comedy the night before Robin Williams had passed away. And I'm not saying we're the same level. I'm not saying that I'm just as good as the late great Robin Williams, but I do feel like there's an energetic connection there, almost I don't know, like a symbol or sign. I don't know what that it is, but I thought it was kind of serendipitous that week was the same week I jumped in the game where Mr. Williams did his exit, almost as like, hey, look, comedy is a gift, whether or not it's my job as the vessel to do it or it's your job as the vessel to do it. Comedy is a gift. Care forward. You have the energy now. Let's see where you can go. So I always think that anniversary, August 10th, 2014. In fact, the first night I did comedy, I went down to the bar and I bought a drink, not to celebrate the drink, but I couldn't afford to buy like merchandise at the comedy store. So I got the receipt from the drink I bought as proof that I did comedy that night at the comedy store, the world famous comedy store. I should probably frame that receipt. I still have it somewhere. It's probably all faded now because receipts aren't made to last forever. But that's always a big deal for me. And August 6, 2017, that's when I launched newamsterdam.com. Take a step back here. I always had an idea for a media empire. It was called New Amsterdam, KNEW. And I thought the name was cool, but I couldn't do it. I was too shy or sheepish. I was afraid of success, as they say. And props to Joshua Waldrop, the guy that gets me on the Comic-Con panel every year. He said, just do it, bro. Start small and just do it. And so I had this idea because I was a comedian that all my best jokes I handwrite. What if newamsterdam.com was like a stationary site? To able to connect other creators who prefer to write things down than just, keep it in their head on their phones. So I have 2 birthdays for that. In May of 2017, I got the newamsterdam.com domain, KNEW Amsterdam.domain, and I called up China and Taiwan to like source these high quality stationery to launch my stationery brand. And the website opened August 6th, 2017. Now that part of my business has closed. If you follow the podcast, New Amsterdam Radio, I talk about the failure of that business a lot, but I still think the New Amsterdam brand can live on. I'm trying to figure out what that is. So I always have a birthday for New Amsterdam in May and an anniversary for New Amsterdam. And that's in August. August 6, 2017 was the launch of the first iteration. But I mean, it's not the worst of the world. I mean, for example, Nintendo started off making playing cards and they became one of the biggest video game makers of all time. So it's all good in the hood when it comes to that. It's just a setback, if that be. And lastly, kind of a small thing for me, even though I'm from the New York area and a lot of New Yorkers take a weekend trip out there, I had never been to Atlantic City, New Jersey. I know they say it doesn't compare to Vegas. I know that says it's the inspiration for Monopoly. But last year was a chance as an adult. I got to fly into New York, got my mom, who usually is like a homebody, to get in the car, to drive the 2 hours out there. For those of you on the West Coast, the distance between New York City and Atlantic City is about the same as Los Angeles and San Diego, about 120 miles, 2.5 hour drive. And we got to walk the boardwalk. I felt like I was in Boardwalk Empire. I saw like it's a weird, cool town, how it tries to be old school turn of century, but it's kind of like modern. It's kind of fancy in the corner, but mostly derelict in front. There's like convention centers mixed with like tenements. It's a cool mismatched dark carnival, Coney Island mixed with Monopoly. And I thought it was so much fun. Mom and I walked the boardwalk. We got some saltwater taffy. At least I did, because she doesn't do it. We gambled at the casinos. It was fun. And so that was kind of a milestone thing for me, also happening in August. So those 4 things are kind of like my big deal. I love it. And I love the fact that August tends to be my discovery month. So who knows what's happening there. I just want to say thank you so much for checking out this episode of What's Up Flobo. All the other episodes available right here on YouTube. You can follow me at Twitter, at Flobo Boys, on Instagram, at Flobo Boys, or at Flobito, Flobito.com. Buy a t-shirt or a mask or a New Amsterdam t-shirt. New Amsterdam, the podcast, now has its own official t-shirt at Flobito, threadless.com, and the Patreon, of course, is patreon.com/FloboBoys. Support the homie, support creators, or support small business, support Black creators, support whatever you want. Please support the homie at patreon.com/FloboBoys. So that's for me. I'm back here Wednesday with What's Up Flobo. Also, What's Up Flobo After Hours, the hour-long show where we sit and we chat about what's going on in the world. That's Monday nights. So make sure you come out for that, 10 p.m. Pacific on Mondays. But until next time, you know the deal. Be yourself, peace out, and have a nice weekend. Oh, yeah.